joined on the line right now by another very special guest. He's running for Congress in West Virginia's 1st congressional district against incumbent Republican Carol Miller, Congresswoman there. The race is tight. I've seen public polling that shows this is a 5-point race in the primaries in May sometime, I believe. But Derrick Evens is running there. And this is a really interesting race because, frankly, I think that this is a deep red Republican district. It's an R+23 according to the Cook Political Report. Yeah, you got a congresswoman there who's voting for all these swamp monster establishment things. So Derrick Evens joins us now on the line right now. Derrick, thanks for joining us here on Breitbart News Saturday.
Hey, Matt. Thank you so much for having me, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, so lots to talk about here, but let's start with, okay, yesterday, the House of Representatives passed this $1.2 trillion big omnibus spending bill that's more than 1,000 pages long, and your opponent, Carol Miller, the congresswoman there, voted for the bill. Now, I submit to you there is absolutely zero possibility, it's physically impossible that the congresswoman read the bill before she voted for it because it came out at 3 a.m. the night before, right? Like, so talk to us about this. What is going on here? Why do we have a congresswoman from an R+23 district who purports to be a conservative Republican voting for $1.2 trillion in spending when she didn't read the bill?
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, I don't even refer to her as a rhino. She is an undocumented Democrat. That's what we're dealing with in terms of who's representing this district. She's refused to endorse President Trump. And then to your point about this specific bill, of course she didn't read it, but there was definitely enough information out there ahead of time to know not to vote for this bill. I mean, there was funding for abortion, transgender surgery on minors. It was red flag gun laws and issues coming after the guns. We funded the Green New Deal. I mean, we're paying for Egyptian college tuition at this point, $850,000 for a gay senior home. This is unbelievable that we're even having this conversation right now. It's even more unbelievable that someone who's supposed to be representing one of the reddest districts in the entire country would actually vote for this specific bill.
Right, and you know what's crazy here, Derrick, is that we were just talking about this at the end of the last hour. Callers, they got me all fired up about this. I get it that there are strategic decisions that Republicans need to make and so on and so forth, and I get it that there's a tight majority and so on and so forth. I understand all of that, but I fail to see the strategic decision in this whole situation. The fact is that at the end of the day, whether it's this stuff or whether it's they're failing right now with the impeachment inquiry into Biden, right? Like, that's a total mess because all they do is just go on Fox News all day and just, act like they're doing something when they're not, so they can send fundraising clips around. The fact is here, Derrick, there's a failure among these elected officials to see that, elected Republicans, that is, to act like the country's on the line, because it is. Like, the country's on the line right now, right? Like, I mean, it is very simple. The globalist, leftist, insane, Democrat, crazy people are going to win, or we're going to win, right? Like, it's really that simple. Absolutely. And yet, you've got these people in there that are just acting like nothing's going on, right? Like, it's just another day, right? Like, I think that failure to understand that and to really fight, like, again, like, the country's on the line is the reason why we're in this mess.
Well, Matt, we have way too many politicians in politics. It's time to get some American patriots involved in politics at every level, from county, from city council all the way up through president. You know, a lot of people, your listeners, they might not know who I am, but I was elected to the state house in West Virginia in 2020. Was the first Republican to win my district in over 98 years. I won a landslide victory. And then I went to the Capitol on January 6th to stand beside President Trump. Mm-hmm. I'm the only elected legislator in the entire country who had the courage to do that. The same deep state going after President Trump came to my house, ripped me away from my wife and children, and threw me in solitary confinement. And now I'm running for U.S. Congress. I say all that to say this, including in this bill, we know that there was nothing to secure the border. We know that they killed the Lake and Riley Act, but there was funding to continue fully fund Biden's weaponized DOJ that is not only going after President Trump, but is targeting conservatives all across this country right now. The rhinos, in a lot of ways, are worse than the actual Democrats, because at the very least, the Democrats stab us in the front, the rhinos stab us in the back.
Yeah, unbelievable. So okay, so now let's one of the other things that's interesting about West Virginia this year is that obviously also you have a Senate race. Senator Manchin is not running for re-election. Governor Justice is running for that. It's very likely he's going to win the Republican nomination for that. He's got President Trump's endorsement, and so on. And if that happens, he'll probably win the general election. But then you also have a governor's race in West Virginia, and this is more of an open race, right? Like, and so Attorney General Patrick Morrisey is running. He's got the endorsement of the NRA and a number of top conservatives. I know Donald Trump Jr. has spoken very highly of him. I don't think President Trump is endorsed in that race, but the fact is that I do believe Patrick Morrisey has the edge there. But you've also got these. It's so mind-boggling to me. Carol Miller's son is running for governor. And then so is Shelley Moore Capito, the senator from West Virginia, the other senator. Her son is running too. What in the world? Like, I thought we fought a war in 1776 to not have royal families anymore in America. Like, what is this, like, corrupt type thing? Like, why do they think that these political dynasties can happen? It's mind-boggling to me. Why there's so many people in West Virginia? Why do we need to elect family members of the already elected peoples to take over? I don't think we need to have dynasties in America. What do you say?
I agree with you, Matt. You got to, what's going on in West Virginia right now is there's basically a dynasty takeover effort that's taking place in West Virginia. You have to remember, this was a Rockefeller-run state that went way, way back until somewhat recently when that baton was passed to Shelley Moore Capito and Carol Miller, and now they're passing down that family tradition of corruption and liberalism to their sons. And anyone who wants to learn more about my opponent specifically, you can go to corruptcarol.com and see a lot of the things. One of the worst, honestly, that people are pretty upset about is Congresswoman Carol Miller voted to force our military members to receive the COVID vaccine or get kicked out of the military. Yep. She also supported all the mandates and all the lockdowns, all the COVID tyranny we dealt with. But yet her business was considered essential. It was essential to purchase a car. So her business was never shut down. But she took out a $3.1 million PPP loan, which is the largest of any member of Congress. And guess what? Then she turned around and voted to have that loan forgiven at the taxpayer's expense. So we are the ones that turned around and paid that $3.1 million back for them. The corruption runs deep. She's got 57 known violations of insider stock trading that's been taking place, according to Quiver Quantitative. And so the whole thing is corrupt, and these people are just in it for themselves.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to me that that's the case. So I was going to ask you about the vax mandate thing next, because I was looking at this website, the Corrupt Carol website that you're talking about earlier today, as I was getting ready for the show today, and I mean, like, insane to me. Like, I mean, again, she literally supported the vaccine mandate on service members, right? Like, on the military. Yep. I mean, what? Like, I mean, that's just the worst, right? Like, it's one thing if, I get it that there are people out there that maybe liked or disliked or whatever. You could choose the vax if you want to or whatever. I don't know. But the fact is that to force people to do it, right? Like, and to use the power of the federal government, especially those in our military. I mean, the military vaccine mandate has gutted America's military. It's totally gutted it, right? Like, and it's just terrible that this supposedly Republican Congresswoman would support that.
Absolutely. Well, Matt, I tell everyone, look, I'm proud to say that I'm endorsed by Veterans for Trump. I'm also endorsed by General Flynn, Mike Lindell, Roger Stone, Laura Loomer, Oil and Gas Workers Association. Yeah. But Veterans for Trump, I'm proud of that endorsement. I support our service members both on and off the battlefield. I think it's completely despicable to look at our military members and say, hey, we appreciate the fact that you are willing to literally sacrifice your life to save our country. But if you want to continue your career in the military, you're going to be forced to take this experimental vaccine, or you get kicked out. And people have got to remember, they didn't even get an honorable discharge. They received a general discharge when they got kicked out for refusing the vaccine. And she voted for that. It's absolutely despicable.